On your left.
On my left. Got it. Don't say it. Don't you say
On your left.
Come on!
What's up, guys? It's Quinn.
It's Alex.
It's Iconic Comic, and we're back for On Your Left podcast, episode 14. Don't make me laugh. If you're listening to us early over on Patreon, thank you guys so much for helping support the channel. You guys help us stay afloat, so thank you guys so much over there. Shout out to you guys. Been a while since we've done a podcast for OYL.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
So let's go ahead and let's change things up. Avengers. All right, let's go right into it. We are 2.5 months away. It doesn't feel like it, though. It feels like it's longer. I don't know. It just feels kind of... I remember what you said, I think, last week. It's going to be the biggest movie for us, but it's not Infinity War.
No. Now I'm trying to think other movies that had a strong trilogy, and then, there's a fourth.
Well...
I mean, I know it's
okay.
not the same.
Lord of the Rings and then The Hobbit. Even though I like The Hobbit a lot.
But The Hobbit is a trilogy itself.
What I'm saying is, like, think of The Hobbit as one, like the next step. The Return of the King, you cap that off, it's like, boom. And then here's the next one. And it's like, oh man, you just ended it really well. But even though Infinity War didn't end good, and it was technically a cliffhanger, so we want to see what happens next. But Infinity War was just this culmination of Guardians, Avengers, people that we haven't seen with each other before. It was something new. Now this is kind of breaking it back down to those first Avengers again. And now that for us is this, like I said, for us and other Marvel nerds, it's going to be the biggest movie that Marvel's ever put out, because this is the culmination of it all. But this won't, I don't think, have the same, like, foaming at the mouth hype that Infinity War had for the casual fans.
Right. I think they also need to stop calling it a trilogy and call it a saga. It's the Avengers saga.
I don't think they're calling it a trilogy.
I keep
think we
hearing
are.
about it. Okay, well, we need to stop calling it a trilogy because it's fucking me up. Because I keep thinking, okay, 3, good, strong number. 3.
Well, there's a prequel trilogy, but then there's the Star Wars saga. So...
Marvel isn't Star Wars.
I know, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like, but here's the thing. Even though I say that, I think this movie's going to make more money than the last movie. I think it will, because every person who saw the last movie, will want to know what happens next.
Not necessarily. I know a lot of people that went and saw Infinity War, and I asked them, "Oh, have you seen the other Marvel movies?" Getting excited, and like, no, I just wanted to see it.
But
does that just not rattle your bones?
A little bit, but at the very end, I'm sure they were like, damn, I would like to know where that goes next.
See, you're putting too much faith in people.
Well,
you really
I'm
are
putting faith in box office numbers.
Well, which needs people.
Right.
But that needs butts and seats, and butts are sometimes
Are
dumb.
you saying Avengers is not going to make a lot of money?
No, I'm saying it is going to make a lot of money, but I hope I'm wrong.
All right, which movie makes more money this year? Avengers Endgame?
Whatever you're going to say.
Star Wars Episode 9. I'm with you. I think Avengers Endgame.
I mean...
Any other year, or if you would have asked me before Last Jedi, I would 100% put all my money on Star Wars. But after Infinity War, and after Last Jedi, even though I like Last Jedi, but not everybody did, and it made a lot of Star Wars fans jump ship, you know what I mean?
Right.
After that, I might even say Captain Marvel makes more money than Avengers.
Oh yeah, I'm on that boat.
Maybe not that. Spider-Man Spider-Man Far From Home makes more money than Episode 9.
I'm on that boat.
And that's not Disney wins anyway. Like,
right.
It's all going to them. And Star Wars is going to make a bill. It's going to make a Billy. It ain't gonna make 2 though. I don't think, unless J.J. Abrams just comes in and goes and just completely crushes this last movie out of the park, which is very possible. But it's not about the box office. I think has nothing to do with the movie coming out. It has to do with the movie that came out before it. Infinity War definitely deserves the box office, But if you don't think it got boosted by Black Panther, I think you're crazy. Black Panther made $1.3 billion. A Solo movie made $1.3 billion. And then everybody who loved Black Panther went and saw it, saw that he was in the trailers for Infinity War. Boom. It definitely pushed the box office up by some margin. I'm not sure what it is. But then you look at what was the last 2 Star Wars movies. Last Jedi, Solo. Solo was a complete flop. It was a good movie. It was a good movie, but flop box office. It did not make any money. And then Last Jedi, it made $1 billion, but obviously not very well received by a lot of fans. So after that, you got to think, all right, opening weekend definitely goes to Avengers for sure. In the long run, if it's a good movie and it picks up traction, Star Wars could make a lot of money, like a lot of money. But opening weekend, I think, is going to be maybe 180 mil for Star Wars, just because the last 2 movies have been disappointing.
I'm saying 190.
You just Price is Right me?
I do it every time.
I know. And sometimes you're right, though.
I know.
You almost did it with Black Panther.
I did, you're right. Yeah, I'm kind of done with Star Wars. Not really done with it, but
I need to get in love with it again.
I'm keeping my expectations low.
We got stupid hype for Last Jedi.
Yeah, we did. And like,
again,
the fan theories...
It's a good movie, but it was just missing something.
That's what they all... That's the... Duh.
The new trilogy. Like, those ones are missing. Like, original trilogy, those movies are almost as perfect as you can get. Prequels, they're missing a lot. They're missing more than one thing. But these... Force Awakens and Last Jedi, they're so close, and then at the end of the movie, it just feels... There's just like this... It's like when you're the loading screen and it gets to 90 and just kind of crashes. And it's not, that doesn't mean whatever was missing was at the end of the movie.
I was going to say, it's not always at the end.
But it just, there was something I wanted and I can't put my finger on it. Like, and maybe it's just me being a fanboy, but like, I wanted to see Luke fuck some people up. I did.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my fault for going in with that expectation, which is why you're like, let's go in with lower expectations. Let's not try to write the script in our heads. Because here's the thing, and this is coming from a Star Wars fan, I don't think the people who are making the Star Wars movies are Star Wars fans.
No, what they're trying to do... Go ahead, sorry.
Compare it with Marvel. Those are Marvel fans who are making the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So like when we fantasize about Marvel and, oh, this would be cool, this would be cool, this would be cool, they've thought about it already. They've thought about everything we've thought about.
And they've thought about something better. Right.
I don't think that's happening at Star Wars, and I think a lot of it is Kathleen Kennedy, who's the president of Lucasfilm. I just think she doesn't have a passion for canon because, you know, when they came out, when Disney bought them, they were like, all right, this is all canon. Everything from this point forward that we release is canon. Books, comics, movies, TV shows, it's all canon, which was cool. That was a good idea. But then the only reason you should do that is if eventually you're going to pay off canon in other places. So if it's all canon, but none of it ever connects or intertwines at all, like even the slightest bit,
who cares?
Well, yeah, and then it's like, it feels like Kathleen Kennedy, who runs the Lucasfilm, and like the film side of it, not the TV and all that other stuff, it feels like it's almost like she doesn't care about that stuff. You know? Because you know what I would have done immediately? I would have said, all right, Dave Filoni, he's the guy who created Clone Wars, Rebels, the TV shows. When they were making Rogue One, I would have brought him on board. Been like, and even Rogue One is probably my favorite of the new Star Wars movies. Bring him on board and be like, all right, how can we connect Rebels to this? Because it's around the same time frame. You know what I mean? Because that would not only pay off for movie fans, but it'd pay off for Rebels fans.
I just find small little ways.
And that's what, like, it's completely fan service. It is. But fan service sometimes tells the fans that we're listening and we care.
That's what they need to do. They need to listen to the fans and give them what they want. I mean, like what you said. Like, I really wanted to see Luke fucks people up, but then
like Vader in Rogue One.
Exactly.
They did listen to us for Rogue One there, but that was because I think it wasn't a saga film. It was its own kind of thing, so it had a little bit more freedom.
Yeah, but still, with Star Wars movies, they probably thought about that. Like, you know, we could have Luke mess and like really wreck some dudes, but you know, like in their mind, I don't know. We can just shoot the shit about this all day long until the cows come home, until Tauntauns come home. But
Oh my god!
it's, you know, I forgot what I was saying as I was saying it.
You may try to make it funny. You messed it
I
up.
ruined everything. No, they try to think that they know what's best.
Mm-hmm.
So they think, oh, well, Luke already had 4, 5, and 6 to show off. He's kind of done, you know. And then if they...
He barely showed off in those movies.
I know.
He really only showed off in 6
Right.
when he became a Jedi. And we've been, you know... We've, like, read comics and books where Luke is, like, freaking badass bringing down Star Destroyers with his hands. That's what I wanted to see. Now, again, that's me writing a script in my head. That doesn't... And if they would have put it in or not put it in, would not have made it a better movie. It's just something I wanted to see. And I don't know if... Again, I can't put a finger on what is missing because the movies have heart. They're not soulless like the prequels. The prequels kind of were soulless. They didn't have any emotion and heart. These movies definitely have that. Then there's good writing, for sure. There's some good writing. There's also some iffy writing with...
Finn.
I wouldn't even say just Finn. I would just say, like, scenes in general. Okay, hold the phone, please. Scenes in general, like the casino stuff in Last Jedi. Could have cut all that fucking shit out of the movie and just went from boom to boom, skip the casino planet, and just go straight to that fucking Star Destroyer. You know what I mean? Be
Yeah.
like, oh, we found the codes, boom, here they are. Or have Maz Kanata, instead of being a hologram, be the one that helps them. You know what I mean? So, either way. Because I didn't mind the, what is it, DJ? Was that his name? The character? The Benicio del Toro, the hacker guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. I thought he was actually kind of cool, and I like the double cross because they kind of foreshadowed it when he was saying, like, you know, oh, it looks like this guy was helping out the bad guys and the good guys, and like, you know, he's talking about how, you know, war's war, but it's all about money kind of thing, and you know, I like that payoff. Here's my biggest problem with Last Jedi, though. Overall, it has nothing to do with Luke or Finn or Rey or Poe, Leia, none of it. Nothing to do with the characters. It is basically J.J. Abrams tossed up a fucking softball to Rian Johnson and went like set up all of these storylines to go these ways. And it feels like on the surface, Rian Johnson caught the ball in the air and threw it back in the dirt and said, no, I'm making my movie. That's why I feel that way. I think JJ should have done all three. Because everything that he set up, it felt like Rian just pooped on. Like setting up Rey's parents, you know, who's Snoke, why has Luke been here, all this other stuff, and Ryan's like, nope. Rey's parents are fucking nobody. Snoke's a fucking nobody. Everybody's nobody. And then I feel like JJ's at home watching Last Jedi going, oh my fucking god, I should have done this one. Because this is what I'm... Apparently, they barely talked about, like, they barely collaborated. J.J. Abrams should have been a writer for the movie if he wasn't directing it. He did the first one. He knows where the story is supposed to go. He should have been right there doing it with Ryan. Or just doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then...
And again, Last Jedi is not a bad movie. It's not. It just felt like a movie that didn't... It was unnecessary almost. Like, after watching it. Before we watched it, obviously, it felt necessary. But after watching it, it's like... The movie takes place over, what, like a day? And we learn almost nothing, and it felt like a filler movie. Like, JJ has a lot to do.
It felt like Thor 2.
Yes. JJ has a fuck ton of work to do in the next movie. He's got to tie up so many loose ends and probably retcon some shit that was in this last movie.
Yeah. God, it's frustrating because, you know, but I kind of understand if you're a director like that. And,
you want your own vision, definitely.
And you collaborate. You do want your own vision. You want your own work. You don't want to share the spotlight, but that's only hurting the fans.
I don't blame Rian Johnson. I blame Kathleen Kennedy for letting it get to that point.
Yeah.
You know? And
Kick her out of office. Impeach her. Build the wall.
Oh my god. Build the Death Star. I don't know. For me, and the more I watch The Last Jedi, every time it gets worse and worse. Not the movie. This part gets worse and worse for me, where I'm like, I get to the end of the movie and I go, you didn't need to kill Luke. And imagine how many more fans, because you've heard a lot of fans who fucking hate Last Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Like, hate it. Imagine how many more fans would have left that theater, like, fucking buzzing and going, holy shit, I can't wait for episode 9.
Because Luke's still here.
If Luke was alive at the end and they said, all right, let's go pick up Luke and let's do this thing. Fuck. Like, I'm all in. But now, Luke's gone. I mean, he's totally going to be a Force ghost in the next movie. But that's not what
For what? Like, for guidance?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to train him. Like Obi-Wan trained Luke as a Force ghost until he met Yoda. It's in, like, the books and shit. They don't really show it in the movies, but... and it'd be cool to see. I think there's going to be a time jump. I think it's going to be like a 5-year time jump to the next one. I think Rey is going to have some other Jedi. She will have trained some more, and I think Kylo will have trained some of his own. And we're going to finally, like, another thing. JJ set up the Knights of Ren. Where the fuck were they in this movie? We got no Knights of Ren. Like that badass fucking like flashback scene where Kylo and the Knights of Ren like are in the rain. I wanted to see that. Like, I want to see his, like, where are they? Where the fuck are they? Like,
here's the thing.
Are they just hanging out at a bar somewhere, like on the Death Star or on the Starkiller base, just like, fuck, man, this job's hard.
What we do with Marvel is, and it kind of goes back to what we said earlier. You know, we talk about fan theories and, oh my god, it'd be so cool if they did this, if they did that, but like, they've already thought about it and thought of something better, so that when we go to see the movie, it's like, well, this didn't happen this way, but the way they did it was awesome.
Like Thor and Wakanda.
Yeah.
Never would have pictured that in my mind.
Never, not once. With Star Wars, we can sit here all day till Tauntauns come home. This should be this way. This would be so cool if this happened. Yada, yada, yada. But instead of going, like, deeper, like, oh yeah, we've thought about that, but get a load of this, they go the other way, like, nah, we're gonna go take a step back.
It feels, to me, like Star Wars has taken a step towards pleasing the casual fans before the hardcore fans.
What about our stockholders, Bob, huh?
You know what I mean, though? Like, it feels like they're... And there's nothing wrong. The casual fans are where these companies make their money from. You know what I mean? Like, they still are the majority. It's like 80-20 right now. 20% freakoids like us, and then 80% of the regular people in the world who don't think about this shit throughout the day.
Yeah.
They make their money from those people. Obviously, we still contribute, but Marvel doesn't look at it that way. Marvel... And Feige has said this. Feige goes, we do not make these movies for the people who go see it on Sunday. We make these movies for the people who see it Thursday at midnight. And it shows.
Yeah.
It totally shows. Because it's like all these fucking little references Marvel makes. And again, it is total fan service. And sometimes it's blatant fan service. But every so often, I like it. Fucking sue me. Like, I like it when out of nowhere someone mentions Thor in not a Thor movie, and he's not in the movie, but you just name drop Thor, and it's like, oh, you just talk about Thor. Well, like, it just makes it all feel connected, and
exactly.
And if you've done your homework and you've watched these movies, it pays off, and it makes you feel like you've earned that. And if you haven't, it's not going to pull you out of the movie.
I'm going to say what's cool about that is it raises the questions for the people that don't know what they're talking about. You know, like. No, not like an actual character. Something like
when Odin talks back in the first Thor about Mjolnir being created in the heart of a dying star. Oh, that's interesting.
Well,
whatever. And then it pays off in Infinity War when we go see where it's fucking made.
And then Thor's like, you see that?
That's Nidavellir.
Or what I was thinking.
He needs the axe.
For a better example, in Age of Ultron, where Bruce Banner.
Wakanda?
Bruce Banner, when he says Wakanda, you know,
Wakanda.
For the casual fan, that's okay. So it's just some foreign country But for us,
We're like, oh, that's Black Panther.
it's like BP.
BP.
So
That's Black Panther right there.
so fan service like that.
Or even take it all the way back to Cap 1. When they talk about vibranium,
yeah.
some of us were like, well, vibranium comes from Wakanda. Are they going to eventually do, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to do this eventually? Like, and it pays off.
2 and 2 equals Black Panther.
Like, I feel like everything in Marvel, like, when you, like, take it from what it is now, wherever it is now, and just backtrack.
Oh my god, I just thought of a better example.
Okay.
In Infinity War, where Bruce Banner crashes in to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and Tony's there, and it's like Bruce is kind of going crazy and manic, and he's like, "That the attack in New York, that was him."
Boom.
So then we are like, yeah, we knew that, but then we see the panic. The casual fan was like, the attack in New York. Okay, so something else happened, but they're still into the scene.
Right. Yeah, it's just it's attention to detail. You know what I mean? But again, we're gonna go see Star Wars opening night. Like there's no way we're not going to. So, and here's the thing: I will always, and it's just the person I am when it comes to these movies, whether it be Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, any of that shit. You would X-Men, Fantastic Four, all of it. You would really, really, really have to royally fuck me over to get me to just not go. You know what I mean?
Like in the trailer, if they showed Cap and Bucky kiss. No, you'd still go.
Yeah, I'd probably still go, but I'd be like, "Why? That's an odd choice." Okay, cool, whatever. All right, I'll
Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
But like, okay, look, this whole Batman news.
Ew.
I'm gonna go see the Batman movie though.
With an imaginary Batman?
Well, they're
With
gonna
an invisible bat?
They're gonna get an. Well, they just announced that they're shooting
With who?
they're replacing Ben Affleck.
I understand, but
with somebody. We don't know yet. They're gonna start shooting eventually, soon, later this year, and it's coming out in 2021, which is not. It's not that far away. It's
it
not.
Scares me.
Fuck it. I don't care because I'm gonna go see it. It's a Batman movie. Of course I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna see it day one, A1, and I'm gonna be there with bells on, hoping it's the best thing since sliced bread. And if it's not, oh well, I'm gonna see the next one. It's because it's who I am. I'm not gonna give up because I'm not gonna give up on any of these franchises because I hold them all dear, and I want them all to be like the MCU. I want the DC universe to be like the MCU, not like.
Wouldn't it be dope?
Like not when I say that, I don't mean I want it to be like a carbon copy. I just want it to feel as natural as the MCU, as connected, as flowing, as non-conflicted. Like I barely like this. One of the only times I've heard about, behind the scenes bullshit. Like we barely hear about behind the scenes bullshit with Marvel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The only time was kind of this James Gunn thing, which pisses me off. It's the one thing that has pissed me off, and it's not Feige, it's Disney. That's the one time Disney's got involved where I'm like, fuck you guys, come on. Like, he made some Twitter jokes like 10 years ago or whatever, and we need to stop doing that shit where we dig up 10-year-old tweets. Grow the fuck up, people. People can change, and it's a joke. People can't take jokes anymore. Like,
So what are we talking about here?
James Gunn got fired from Guardians 3.
Yeah, I know that part, but like, are we going into politics or are we staying?
No, I'm just
Okay, I'm just checking.
No. I'm just I'm just saying, like, it's the same. It's the same thing with the Kevin Hart with the Oscars. Fuck that. I was so upset. But Kevin Hart handled it like a champ. I think James Gunn handled it like a champ. I'm disappointed in Disney that they did that. That was the first time they kind of put their hand in the pot a little bit. Hopefully that was it. And they're like, all right, that was our one thing, just because we can't have him on the Disney brand. I'm like, all right, it's your business. You can make that choice. It's fine. I don't agree with it, but again, your business. So I hope I hope they don't. I don't think they will get involved with the actual movie making process ever.
No,
that's all Feige and his dudes. But it seems like this, and I'm fingers crossed, because here's the thing. I'm kind of glad that the Ben Affleck news happened, because it's out there finally. We're not hiding our skeletons anymore. DC is going, this is what we're doing. This is our plan. They have something. Like, they have a plan. We're not bullshitting like, is he or isn't he Batman? Maybe. We're not going to tell you. We're just going to hold it, and I don't know. Okay, it's out there. Boom. They came out and they said it. He's not Batman. We're starting this shit over. We're sorry. I'm sorry. Like DC's on their knees and saying, I'm sorry. Aquaman was an okay movie. It was a good movie. It wasn't like, it definitely wasn't fantastic, but they were making some okay directions, and I hope if Shazam's great, it's okay. Let's take our baby steps with this. Let's not jump into Justice League in the next 2 years. Justice League movie shouldn't happen for another 4 or 5 years.
What do you say?
Sorry, I ranted.
You're fine. What would you say if the directors from Marvel, all the good ones, I'm talking the Russo brothers, James Gunn, all those guys.
James Gunn just went to DC, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
That's what I'm saying.
He's doing Suicide Squad 2.
I think I did know that.
Which, that could be fucking amazing.
Yeah, but like, what if the Russo brothers, they decided, hey,
let's go fix this ship.
like, hey, let's take the Batman off your hands.
Or if Feige
shit.
Feige built up like Marvel, obviously he has, but like built up a successor to him that, like, because if Feige himself hands it off to somebody, I trust Feige. If Disney goes, Feige's retiring, we're going to put this guy in charge, I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, or if Jon Favreau got put in charge, I trust like him, you know what I mean? But Feige hands off the baton to somebody else and goes, I'm going to go fix this shit. And like goes over there, he'd be the fucking god.
And then
of
Feige
dweebs.
builds up DC, and then he goes over
Back to Marvel.
and then
goes,
no,
let's do this
then he's
thing.
got Marvel in one hand, DC in the other. Bam!
I was going to say, let's do this thing.
Marvel DC saga.
It's never going to happen.
No,
But
but-
that might happen eventually, but it's never going to happen like that.
No, but like, what? Oh, how would you feel if all the directors we know and love just did a DC movie here and there, and they all collaborated, they all talked to each other, like, okay, we need to be we need to have continuity from the beginning, just like Marvel, just like the ones we crushed over there on that side.
Right.
Let's kill it over here.
I think
Would Warner Brothers, would they be as open?
I don't think at this point. I think Warner Brothers would have to get to a Sony point. You know what I mean? Like where they, how Sony fucked up Spider-Man like way too much, and they started losing a lot of money. Like Warner Brothers didn't lose money. Aquaman's made over $1 billion.
Jesus,
It's the highest grossing DC movie of all time. Beating every Nolan film, beating everything. It's the highest grossing Aquaman. That's crazy. He was a joke a couple years ago. He was the dude in fucking orange and green, and he was like Mermaid Man from like people made fun of him, and he's
evil.
the biggest fucking movie the DC's ever put out in history. That's crazy. So until they hit a Sony type level, they would never be open to any sort of like collab or trade or anything. Here's my biggest, I think what their biggest flaw was from the start, and this is coming from someone who loves the movie. Like, and I will say that right now. I fucking love Batman versus Superman. Minus the Batman killing part. And I can even get over that to an extent if I think hard enough about it. And I'm like, honestly, the more I think about it as I get older, I'm like, the Batman no killing rule is dumb as fuck. Like fuck, and it's so dumb. Like, because, I mean, look, I know why he does it, because, I love that line. What was it, Under the Red Hood, where he's like, if I cross that line, I will never go back. Or like, he will basically become Joker. Because he's crazy. He's mentally unstable. And if he crosses that line of killing, if he does it one time, he'll never come back. He'll just be snapping necks all fucking day. And I understand that. Fine. But I love Batman vs. Superman. I love that fucking movie. It's the Ultimate Edition. But that movie is the biggest problem with the DC Universe, with the way everything went after that. Because Man of Steel, great fucking first movie to start your universe with. Might be one of the best Superman movies ever. And then, next movie, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, cameos by Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, Doomsday, Lex Luthor, Darkseid, Parademons, Death of Superman. Dark Knight Returns also in there. You just wasted the Death of Robin in there also. You just wasted fucking 10 movies of good material in one.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah,
And it wasn't, again, the movie, I love it. It's fine. I love it. I wouldn't change it.
Ooh. Hands up. Okay. So, you know how we said that Marvel has this fan service things? Like those little tiny things, like Wakanda? BVS should have been something way farther down the line so that those little fan service things that, but you really couldn't pull things from the comics. It would be from the movies. So that's tough. But they tried to do literally everything that they could think of.
Right.
Like the only thing I didn't think they touched on was Red Hood.
No, they touched it.
Yeah,
a little bit.
they did.
Like they didn't obviously didn't explore it, and they left it a little open. But here's my problem with it is they put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Which Marvel didn't. Marvel took baby steps to Avengers. It was Iron Man, Hulk, end of Hulk. Here comes Tony Stark. Okay, this is the same universe. But that was the only really connector. Iron Man 2. Okay, not much connecting. A little Easter egg with the Cap shield. And then, after credit, Coulson, I gotta go to New Mexico. Hammer, Thor. Boom, you get to Thor. Really, no connection except for Coulson. A side character from the other movies. Coulson was really the connector in the first phase. And then Thor, end of Thor, Tesseract. Boom. Connect. Tesseract, Captain America 1. The Cube, Red Skull. He has it. There's your connection. It's the same universe. Get to the end. Unfreezes. Boom. Nick Fury. Haven't seen him since Iron Man 2. Avengers. Slow build. Man of Steel. Just do the whole load. Let's just
ejaculated 10 movies worth of material. Just like
they
that.
made their movies. Marvel made their movies that stood on their own, but could eventually be a connecting universe. DC made Man of Steel, a movie that stands on its own, and the very next movie made an entire universe in one movie. They tried to build an entire cinematic universe with one movie.
Right.
And here's my thing. You know what? Honestly, I would have done, if you're going to do it that way, fuck Man of Steel, fuck Batman vs. Superman, start the first movie of the DC Universe, Justice League, and do it backwards.
Do it, with Green Lantern,
and make it a fucking balls-to-the-wall action film where we're just like, holy fucking shit, and then
slow it down.
And then we learn about the characters more in their own movies, and then we love them even more, and then boom, for Justice League 1 is super mysterious. We get a little quick shots of their backstory because look, Batman, we don't even know he's like Spider-Man at this point. We know his backstory. Boom. We definitely know Superman's backstory by now. Planet blows up. He's an alien. Boom. Done. Wonder Woman, you could probably, there's some people who know, some people who don't. I would say The Flash is actually, I might put The Flash's origin story as more well known than Wonder Woman's. Because the TV show, it's very popular.
Is it all canon? Are the shows part of...
Well, I'm just saying, his origin hasn't changed. The way he got his powers is what I'm saying. So, but I would say you do the Justice League movie, and then the very next movie is either Wonder Woman, Flash, or Cyborg. One of those three. The lesser-known characters. You do the final movie before Justice League 2, Batman or Superman. Or Batman versus Superman. That's the one. You put them both world's finest at the very end because those characters need no introduction, and you know both of those characters. And the other movies are solo. So it's
and then that way you could set up Death of Superman.
Because we've had a Justice League movie, but don't kill Superman in Batman versus Superman. Kill Superman in his own fucking movie.
Yeah.
Give Superman his movie with Doomsday in it. So Batman vs Superman, which is like Dark Knight Returns, whatever. So basically, you take out of Batman vs Superman, the one that we have now, just do it like Dark Knight Returns, basically. Fuck the city getting destroyed or whatever. Batman kind of retired or whatever, and now he's back, and the government said, do it. DC has so much material, and I know how we say Marvel changes a lot and it's for the better. I think DC could do a lot better if they just stuck to the comics more. They have so much good material. Just like, take this, put it on the screen.
All they have to do is put pieces together. That's all they have to do. That's it. You just take pieces from comics and just put them on screen. It's not, I mean, it is hard, but it's not as hard as they're making it out to be.
And this is why it makes me mad when people call me and you just fucking Marvel fanboy, all this other stuff. Because like, clearly this conversation is not people who hate DC. This is people who want DC to succeed, because I want to see these movies. And again, they are in a upswing right now, which is good. I'm just holding my breath. I'm holding my breath because until they have 2-3 in a row, they will have gained my trust back. They get 2-3 good ones in a row, I'm like, all right, boom, I'm back into this thing, let's go. And that doesn't make me a bandwagon fan. It just makes me cautious every time I go until that happens. And I'll tell you what, I had a slight bit of that with Marvel. Not like to the extent it is right now, but Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, I was like,
Hey, hold on.
Just hold on, and then Winter Soldier, I was all right, you guys got me back.
Okay, we're good.
Cool, we're good.
We cool.
Good. Like, if the Batman comes out and it's like bananas good, like, oh my god, they fucking killed it. That's the best Batman movie they've ever made. I will eat all the crow, and I'll be like, all right, you got me. We're back, let's do this thing.
They have to be careful though, because the same type of thing happened with Man of Steel. I mean, I don't know how well did it do in box office.
I mean, it definitely did well. Like, it didn't crush.
All fans for the most part liked it.
My only part that I've heard that most diehard Superman fans didn't like was him snapping Zod's neck. But I fucking hate. It makes me so mad when people get mad about that. I'm like, what the fuck was he supposed to do?
Okay, but I'm saying, like,
but yeah, continue.
Generally, it was a liked movie.
Well received, yes. It did well financially, yes.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, when DC, if they come out with a badass Batman, and it kills, the Batman kills at the box office, I'm afraid that history will repeat itself, and they're just going to do the same thing. They're going to be like, okay, we're going to do Red Hood, Dark Knight Returns, and Darkseid, you're in it too.
See, I don't think they'll do the same thing, because
I hope they don't.
Well, they have I can't remember his name, but they do have a new president of operations for the DC stuff over at Warner Brothers. And from what I've read and what I've heard, he's a pretty no-nonsense guy. Like, he's got a plan, and no matter what, they're not going to be reactionary anymore, and they're going to stick to their plan. And I like I said, I hope so. Like you said, I hope so. But look. But now, after we just talked about, like, how cool it would have been, start with Justice League, do backwards Marvel, like, God, that would have been cool.
That would be really cool. And like what you said, make it balls to the wall, open up in, oh my God, I'm totally blanking. Where do they go?
Gotham.
No,
the fucking Hall of Justice?
Yeah.
And they're around the table?
Opens Hall of Justice.
And their backs towards us, like, and they're like making a plan to do something, like, but it's like it basically how like an Injustice game starts or something like that. Like, we don't need
Googly Moogly.
We don't need, like, we know these characters already, and like DC has the most iconic characters.
Yeah, see,
Superman and Batman; those are the top two most iconic characters.
They have characters that don't necessarily need backgrounds.
Or an introduction.
We already know.
Superman does not need an introduction.
More people know DC characters than Marvel characters. I'm going to say that, like, and I will stand by that.
If you hold up a picture of Superman and a picture of Thanos to just a random person on the street, they 100%, I would put $1 million on it, they'll know that's Superman. They maybe, but they'll all know this is Superman.
Now they would 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
They would know Superman. They wouldn't know Thanos.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Or,
You'd
like,
find the random
Star-Lord.
person. Yeah, you'd find the random person. But overall, but Superman, 100%. 100%. Because
Batman.
you know him everywhere. Batman, 100%. He's got an S. He's got a bat. Wonder Woman, she's got a W. Like, it's they're very iconic. The Flash. Even the Flash, I would say, is pretty close. Like, it may not be 100%, but it'd be high. It'd be like 90.
And you might not even say, like, oh, that's the Flash. You might, oh, that's the guy that's really fast.
The fast guy. Yeah, he's fast.
He's like a Flash. Oh,
stop. But yeah, they have the most iconic characters in all of, you might even be able to say pop culture. Superman might be the most iconic character in history. When you just
that's a bold move.
I'm not saying the best character in history, but the most
iconic.
Recognizable.
Yeah.
If you put a picture of Superman up on a wall in any room in any country in the world, people will know it's Superman.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Right.
That's crazy.
He was the first superhero. There were no other superheroes before him. He was the first Action Comics #1. First one ever.
Superman.
Ever. That was it.
I mean, the name itself.
Right, it's iconic. You say super. It's a cool name, motherfucker. God.
Superman.
And then Batman. Like, they have cool. And DC's very simple with their names. Like, but that's a reason I do like Marvel a little bit more, because they get super geeky and like Norse mythology and spacey. Like, Thanos. Like Eitri the dwarf and Nidavellir. Like DC definitely has their like super deep cut nerd shit. Hands down, but I don't know. There's something about those big, long, crazy names. But I'm really proud of us. We haven't talked about Marvel too much. Like,
I know
too much.
Because
but everything else we're shitting on. Like, we're like Star Wars, DC. Fuck off. Why can't you be more like them?
Well, we're not shitting on them. We're just saying
we love these franchises and we want them to succeed.
We've fallen in love with these characters and these storylines, and we just want to see them on screen the way that they were meant to be.
What was your introduction to Batman? Mine was
Batman
the animated series.
Yeah, and that was my Batman.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Conroy.
My
Joker.
Yeah, my Joker and everything.
Which is why I love the Arkham games so much. So they kind of take me back.
Which I really didn't have an appreciation for it when I was younger. I just thought it was a badass cartoon, and I just loved watching it.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. But then, I get older, and that's not the Batman I grew up with. Ben Affleck was close.
Mm-hmm. Very,
was
very,
close.
very close.
But then, well, now he's gone. So
Bye-bye.
So,
which I'm not going to get too beat up about it. Like, I'm not going to think about it too much. And, like, there's been so many Batmans. There's been, like, live action. You had, Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney. Blech. That was not a good one, by the way. But George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck. That's 6 live action Batmans. Right. I might be missing one. I think I am missing one in there, but it's like an old one. But how many Spider-Mans? 3 Spider-Man. Or Spider-Man, sorry, I guess, if you want to count Miles Morales in the animated movie. But 3 live action Spider-Men. There's been so many Batman. There's been a lot of Supermen, too. Like, they've took the swing at this a lot. But this is the first time they took a swing at the universe. And look, I don't think DC needs a universe. They don't need it. They could just, like, if Man of Steel was just its own fucking thing, fine. Like, just be good Superman movies. Like, honestly, I really only like Superman in Superman solo movies.
Yeah.
Because once he shows up in Justice League, it's like, well, fuck everybody else here. Why are you guys here? Like, is this guy bothering you? Like he just shows up and fucks everybody up. But otherwise, you don't really, like, when he's in his own movie, it makes perfect sense because he's the one getting attacked and he can fuck him up. But Justice League, it's like, Batman, why are you fucking here? Like it's like, really? Yeah. But I don't know. Green Lantern. How do you do a good Green Lantern movie? Because honestly, I'm not a big Green Lantern fan.
Why not?
I think it's it's too much. He should never fucking lose. Like, he's basically Superman, and then he can also create whatever the fuck he wants.
But he's not as strong.
No, but he does have super strength. And he
Yeah.
can fly.
Green Lantern is awesome.
He's like
I
got
think
Wonder
he's-
Woman level powers with unlimited fucking energy in his ring. Like, oh, he's gonna charge in his fucking lantern, whatever. This is why I really hated the Green Lantern movie. I actually didn't think Ryan Reynolds was bad.
No?
It was just the movie sucked. When they go to the planet, I don't know the name off the top of my
Like
head.
the Lantern Corps?
The Lantern Corps. They go there and they're like putting him through the trials and fucking fighting him and training him and whatever. Like, why are these fucking aliens? And it's in the comics too, and in everything.
Why do they speak English?
No, I can buy that, whatever. Like, fucking Star Wars, they speak English. I think, don't they also have, like, isn't that something with the ring that translates so you can understand whatever
Sure.
your language? Let's say that. Why is it that every alien that isn't a human who is a Green Lantern in all the comics and all the shows and the movie, they all fucking make stuff from Earth? Guns, swords, brick walls, chains. They fucking all do it all the time. Race cars,
Interesting.
like,
I never thought of that.
planes. I'm like, this is all shit from Earth, not your planet. Why do you know what this looks like or ever has done? Like, if apparently Hal Jordan was the first one from Earth ever, you've never been here. Like, what the fuck? And is there not better shit on your planet? Like, what the hell? Like, it bothers me, and I don't know why. Like, when they go to, what was his name? I almost said Parthenax. Parallax? Was it Parallax? The big cloud alien thing from Green Lantern? I think it's Parallax. And they cover him with a big, like, metal chainmail thing, and then they nails around it. Do you remember that?
I'd have to watch it again.
It's just, I'm like, that's all shit from Earth. You guys don't have that shit. This is our shit.
Maybe they do. You don't know.
I sincerely doubt they have
Or the-
Glocks where they come from,
or
or
the-
fencing swords.
Or the ring comes with knowledge of the universe.
Maybe, but why
But
is all
then-
that knowledge just from Earth? Like, why doesn't Hal Jordan make a ray gun from some other planet? Like, I don't know. It just bothers me. I'm sorry.
It makes sense, though. I like the way your head's going, but now I'm going to be up all night thinking about that.
Sorry.
But Green Lantern is a cool character. And
I like Jon Stewart more than Hal Jordan.
yeah, either way.
Hal Jordan's kind of a bitch.
Either way, I like in Doom.
Doom?
Yeah, that movie,
Oh, Justice League Doom. When you say Doom, I think,
the game, Doom.
and the movie with The Rock in it or something.
In Doom, where Batman had a contingency plan for
I can't remember
everybody,
what his was.
it messed with his
Oh, was it the
confidence.
fear? Oh,
It was fear. Yeah.
yeah.
So
The ring fell off or something,
I forget.
didn't it?
No. Well, it did when he. Yes, but he was faced with a decision, and he couldn't make a choice.
Someone was going to die or something.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at it again. But he created a scenario where Hal Jordan couldn't save,
Right.
the
yeah,
victim,
Now I'm remembering that.
and he had no other choice. He could not save her, and it was all fake. It was all a ruse.
A ruse.
And then
I like the Flash one. Where
Oh,
it's
what was the
because he
Flash
was
one?
it's like if you stop running, the
Oh.
bomb will go off
yeah,
and you'll die, and whoever's around you will die as well. I think it was like a nuke or something.
Yeah, and
and
then-
he basically Batman told him to phase through
a glacier. Yeah.
and he would be able to get it off and then phase out of it. That was cool. Wonder Woman's was kind of odd. Like he just made her see, was it Cheetah?
Yeah.
But everybody was Cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but she was just messing up a bunch of people. Like, what was the end? What was the end? Like, what was the plan there?
She just was killing a bunch of NPCs.
Would she just feel bad afterwards and give up? Like, she'd be like, "Oh no, I fucking killed a bunch of people. Well, I'm done being a superhero now." Like that kind of shit. Or yeah, I didn't understand that one. But and then what was Superman's? I'm sure Kryptonite was
Kryptonite?
involved. Yeah, like Kryptonite was for sure involved. Batman's though, I like how he had one for himself. That was the coolest part of the whole movie. And of course Bane was the one to see it through. I love that shit. Remember he buried him with his fucking dead parents, dude. But was that his own plan?
Yeah.
That's kind of fucking psycho when you think about it, that he planned himself to be buried alive inside this thing with his fucking dead parents. That's really fucking psycho that he made that plan.
You know what was cool?
Bury me with my parents.
At the end of the movie, everybody was just like,
Pissy.
get rid of this. This is stupid. Don't ever do this again. But then Soups gave Batman kryptonite. Like, hey, in case this actually happens, I trust you and I want you to have this.
But the end of the movie pisses me off.
Explain.
Because they kick him out of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And they're all pissy at him. And he's like, look, if any one of you went rogue, the planet's fucked. It doesn't matter which one of you it is. Flash, you go rogue, you could kill so many people, like, so fast. Like, Superman especially. Superman goes rogue, you're fucked. Wonder Woman goes rogue, you're fucked. Even if Batman goes rogue, he's smart enough to really cause some evil shit to happen. There's got to be a contingency plan. And he's like, well, you see what happens when it falls in the wrong hands. Like, well, how did it fall in the wrong hands, by the way? I totally forgot that part.
Oh, shit. I forget. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
not
yeah.
important, but it's the fact that he had one for himself, too. That's why I'm like, that should be the end of the argument. He had one for everyone, including himself. Who cares? Why are you still mad? You know what I mean? It was all petty bullshit.
You just farted.
Oh, yeah. Boom. Yeah, I don't know.
DC, just get your shit together, please.
Yeah, please.
We want to see these characters done right, and I know that you can do it. And if anyone from DC is listening, if you want us to come into your writer's room, we'll be more than happy to accompany you.
I don't know. I'd be too nervous. I mean, like, and then I'd fuck it up, and then it'd be like, it's all, because you know how much pressure that'd be if they brought us in? Because after all the shit talk we've done,
it's
like,
not shit talk.
We better. It's not shit talk. It's hopeful. It's what
passion
we want.
talk. That sounds dirty.
It's what we want to see from these characters, from these movies, and I've seen glimpses that show me that they can do it.
Yeah, don't worry about whose name is on what, who gets all the glory. The glory is the characters.
And the glory is in the eye of the beholder. Is that the phrase?
That's beauty. Dumbass. No, what I'm saying is if you have a movie, doesn't matter who directed it. You can have 4 directors on the movie. Collaborate. Be adults and work it out. And give us a kick-ass movie so that your next movie can be better. And the next one, and the next one. So everybody literally wins.
You know what I was just thinking?
You have to pee.
A little bit, but they did something like the Wakanda thing in Man of Steel with the Wayne Tech logos.
Okay, yeah.
And they did a good job, and then they just went like they were almost on the right track of taking baby steps. Like, oh, that was the Wayne logo. Oh. Huh.
What the fuck? Are you okay?
I have to pee. All right, let's wrap this up. All right.
Okay.
So, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 14 of the On Your Left podcast. Again, if you are listening to this live, or not live, if you're listening to this early on Patreon, thank you so much for supporting the channel. We really appreciate you guys so much. And as always, if you're on YouTube, make sure you guys like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
So you guys don't miss a single thing from the channel.
Make sure you guys stay tuned.
Stay iconic.
And cue music.
Holy Grail.